We are live, Gaurav. You can start.
Okay. A very good evening to one and all. So we are here with our webinar today on this auspicious day. I would like to wish you all a happy 72nd Republic Day. And on this Republic Day, we would like to present you with a topic which is very close to my heart and one of my passions right now, which is health and fitness. And in the midst of a busy schedule, how you can go about it, how we can use it as to the best of our benefits. We have two great speakers from INFS and Fitter. The first speaker is Akshita Arora. She's she has an experience of more than 4 years as a faculty and advanced coach at Fitter. Uh, Lifting weights is her passion. She's also a fitness athlete who has participated in various physique competitions and is also the winner of ICN Bikini Overall Championship in 2019. The second speaker is Praveen Budhrani, and he is also a faculty at INFS and Fitter coach with an experience of 1.5 years. He's a chartered accountant by profession, and he was an associate in investment banking before he ventured into fitness and fitness consulting full time. So I would not like to waste any more time and hand over the session to Akshita to start the session first. Akshita.
Thank you so much, Gaurav, for having us here. It is a pleasure to connect with everyone on this 72nd Republic Day. And for on this occasion, we have selected a very interesting topic, which might be an interest of many people over here. And we will be discussing how to manage your fitness with a hectic lifestyle. So working with so many people, I have also worked with many doctors, and we know how hectic your schedule is, managing between different shifts and working straight for 24 hours, 48 hours or more. I have worked with many such doctors, and I know it gets so difficult. It might get so difficult for you to manage your fitness while you are working on improving everyone's health. So that is why we'll be covering this session in two parts: nutrition part and training part. I'll be covering the nutrition part, that how you should be managing your diet amidst your busy lifestyle, your hectic schedule. So without any further delay, let's begin with our session. First of all, we will start with understanding the term diet. So this term diet is often misunderstood or misinterpreted as something that is different from your usual schedule, usual routine. So a diet, by technical definition, is a course of foods or a combination of foods that you eat on a routine basis. Okay, so anything that you are eating on a daily basis, you must be having a routine of eating your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and some meals in between. Okay, so most likely you will build a pattern of having similar kinds of foods in your meal. Probably you will have oats or poha. I'm just giving an example that you might be having oats and poha in breakfast, rice roti with sabzi in lunch and dinner. So this is our usual eating pattern, and this is our diet. Okay, so a diet is nothing but what you are eating. So when someone says we are on a diet or we are going on a diet, they actually mean they are eating for a specific goal. Okay, but the thing is, even for that particular goal, your eating pattern is not it should not be changed completely or drastically. So you can achieve your goal like losing weight or gaining muscle while eating similar foods or foods of your choices by just understanding the concept of calorie balance or energy balance. Okay, so you should just be knowing that what is the state in which you should be to achieve your specific goal. Okay, so in the next slide, we are discussing the concept of energy balance. First term is which I have mentioned is BMR, which we call basal metabolic rate. Okay, so basal metabolic rate gives you the amount of calories that your body needs at complete state of rest. For example, you are just lying down on bed, and you are sleeping, you're not doing anything. So these are the amount of calories that your body would need to meet the functions which are happening inside the body, like digestion, respiration, pumping of heart, etc. So the basic functioning and all the metabolic processes which are happening inside your body, they need energy to take place. And this entire energy is depicted by BMR, basal metabolic rate. And the next term which I have mentioned is TDEE, that is total daily energy expenditure. TDEE gives you your daily energy requirement. In layman language, we call it maintenance. Okay, so TDE is basically your maintenance calories. If you see this seesaw, so you will see a balanced seesaw in which the energy calorie in is basically the energy which you are consuming, and calorie out is the energy which you are utilizing for your day to day activities. Okay, so when the seesaw is balanced, this is an isocaloric state. Okay, this is an isocaloric state where your calories in equate to calories out. That means whatever calories that you are consuming in a day, you are utilizing exactly the same amount of calories in that particular day. When you are in an isocaloric state, so your weight will be maintained. Okay, and the maintenance or TDEE is this isocaloric balance, isocaloric state, when you are eating same calories which you are utilizing. So if you see you yourself maintaining your weight over the period of time, so you are in an isocaloric state. The next state is calorie deficit. In a calorie deficit state, your calorie in becomes less than calorie out. Okay, so if you see this second seesaw, your calorie out is heavier and calorie in is smaller. That means you are intaking lesser calories than what you are burning in a day. So those extra calorie requirement, the difference between your calorie in and calorie out, is compensated with loss of mass, with your stored energy, I shall say. And we are storing energy in ourselves in form of fat, muscle, etc. So the extra energy that is compensated is from stored energy, that leads to weight loss, because our stored energy, that is our total body weight or our mass, is getting utilized in meeting our daily energy needs. And over the period of time, if it is continued, it will lead to weight loss. The third, if you'll see the third seesaw, in this, the calorie inside is heavier than calorie out. This is the state of calorie surplus. Okay, in calorie surplus, you are ingesting more calories than what you are burning in a day. So those extra calories will be stored in your body, which would lead to weight gain if this pattern is continued over a period of time. This is the state of positive calorie balance or positive energy balance. If someone wants to lose weight, they need to be in a state of negative calorie balance or calorie deficit. If someone wants to gain weight, they need to be in a state of positive calorie balance or a calorie surplus state. If you just want to maintain your current fitness, you just have to be in an isocaloric balance, and you have to eat around your TDEE for that. Now you know how many calories, you know in which state you should be in order to achieve your goal. Now we'll understand the term macronutrient, or in layman term, which we call is macros. You must have heard these term a lot of time, macros. So that is just an abbreviation of macronutrients. Macronutrients are the foods which you consume in larger amounts, which we can measure in gram or kg or so. Okay, and there are 6 type of macronutrients: fats that give you 9 calorie per gram, protein which give you 4 calorie in 1 gram, carbs which also give you 4 calorie in 1 gram. Next is fiber. Fiber falls into the category of carbohydrates, but they are metabolized slightly differently. That's why we have written it separately. So we consider that fiber usually do not require any calorie, or usually fiber does not provide any calorie or provide very less calorie, so we are terming it as zero. Water, that is the only thing in I would say in this world which has 0 calories. Everything else has some amount of calories. And last one is alcohol, which gives you 7 calorie per gram, but this macronutrient is not desired. Okay, so out of all these macronutrients, alcohol is the one which is not required. That's why we omit it. Water is a macronutrient which does not give calorie, but it is essential for your life. Okay, without water you cannot survive. All the other macronutrients have their place in our diet, and we will discuss them in the upcoming slides. The first macronutrient, that is the most important macronutrient, protein. So as I told you, protein gives 4 calories in 1 gram, and it is crucial for growth, repair and recovery of your muscle. It is the building block of your muscles and tissues, and it is important. So the word protein has been derived from a Greek word proteos, that means primary. So protein is primary. Everyone should be having certain amount of protein in their diet. If you do not eat protein, then building muscles or preservation of muscle become very difficult. And we all know, being doctors, that as we age we lose muscle mass, age related muscle loss, which is known as sarcopenia, which is unavoidable, that happens, and we keep on losing functionality as we age. So in order to preserve our functionality, we have to preserve our muscle mass, and for that we need to eat protein. So do ensure that protein is a crucial component of your diet. It is usually the most lacking macronutrient in a typical Indian diet, because India is a vegetarian dominated country. More than 60-70% population is vegetarian. And usually no one eats, believe me, like I have not seen anyone eating paneer, soya or lentils in day to day, like every day. Even non-vegetarians do not eat chicken and eggs on daily basis. But this is the current normal. We have to change this current normal, and we have to get into a new normal where protein is a crucial component of our every meal. So you guys have to ensure that protein, each and every meal that you are having, at least the major meal like breakfast, lunch, dinner, protein is a component of that. You are adding some portion, a serving of protein in every meal. Some protein sources are paneer, soya, lentils for vegetarians, and fish, chicken, eggs, etc. for non-vegetarians. So you can combine various protein sources and make them a regular part of your day-to-day diet. The next macronutrient is carbohydrate, which is like I would say the most feared macronutrient nowadays, but we should not fear it. Carbohydrate is also like any other macronutrient that provides you energy. Carbohydrate also gives you 4 calorie per gram, and carbohydrate are important because our brain, our body, our central nervous system, like our entire organs and processes in our body, they are for them preferred source of fuel is carbohydrate, because carbohydrate makes a very big component of our diet from the very beginning, from childhood. That's why our brain is used to utilizing carbohydrate as a fuel. Another thing is, for brain and central nervous system, only two fuels can work. One is glucose, that is the simplest form of carbohydrate. Other one is ketone, that is so when we other one are ketones. Okay, so when we have sufficient carbohydrates in our diet, they get broken down into glucose, and that's the simplest way body can derive energy from food. That's why carbohydrates are preferred source of fuel. But they are not essential for survival. If you omit all the carbohydrates from your diet, you will still survive. Okay, as I told you, besides glucose, another fuel that can cross your blood brain barrier is ketone. So if body is lacking on stored energy from glucose, or I shall say glycogen, body would derive its energy from another fuel, that is ketone. Okay, carbohydrates also have some other advantages like improving sports performance. So usually you will see people who train or people who are in specific sports, they would consume carbohydrates before, during, and after their training in order to derive instant energy from carbs. That's why carbohydrates may help in improving your training performance as well. Some of the carbohydrate sources are potato, oats, rice, bread, fruits, etc. The next macronutrient, and yeah, here I would like to add that you don't have to fear carbs. You can very well keep carbohydrates as a part of your diet. You don't have to omit carbohydrates, or you don't have to restrict your carbs to very less. In order to lose weight, we just reduce a certain macronutrient in order to create a calorie deficit and lose weight. And besides this, you can design your diet as per your preference and as per your lifestyle, between low carb, moderate carb, or high carb, whatever that you prefer, whatever that goes best with your lifestyle. Another macronutrient, again, it is one of the most feared macronutrient, fats. It is a calorie dense macronutrient, as fat gives more than double the amount of calories as compared to protein and carbohydrates. 1 gram of fat gives you 9 calories. But again, it is just another macronutrient that gives you energy, and fat is essential for your survival. I shall point it like that, because it is involved in so many important crucial functions in the body. Like, it is a very important component of your cell, and it is involved in your cell growth. It is also involved in synthesis of various hormones, specifically your steroid hormones, all the reproductive hormones, and also fat soluble vitamins like A, D, E, K. So fat is crucial for all these processes to keep happening in your body. That's why we should not omit fats completely from our diet. And usually 20 to 30% of calories should be coming from fat, like total calories should be coming from fat for general wellness. Some of the fat sources are ghee, coconut oil, nuts, avocado. So the thing is, there are a lot of fats in your diet, and you don't have to fear any specific fat, except for trans fat. Okay, trans fat is the only kind of fat that is not suitable, like that is unfamiliar for body to digest. Otherwise, your the fats coming in your diet can be a combination of saturated, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated fatty acids, and it's completely fine. Around saturated fatty acids can be limited below 10-15%, and rest of the fats can come from your MUFA and PUFA. Okay. Now let's understand quantifying the diet. So what I have to we have discussed a lot about calorie, this term calorie. So what exactly is this calorie? Calorie is just an SI unit of energy, Okay, so the energy requirement or energy expenditure is depicted in using calorie. So it is just an SI unit to depict the amount of energy. Okay. Now, I have mentioned calorie and food calorie differently, because if you will see this label, you will see calories mentioned as 160 calories. But these are food calories. Okay. So in actual, they are 160 kilocalories. Okay. Or I shall, no. Yeah, I'm saying it correct. So in actual, it is 160 kilocalorie. 1 kilocalorie is equal to 1,000 calories in actual, and one food calorie is depicted by 1 kilocalorie. Okay, so that is the difference. If someone say I am on a I'm eating, sometimes people get confused, that a serving, this serving of milk, it is giving 160 kilocalorie, and if I am on a 1500 calorie diet, so I'm consuming uh, way more than targeted calories, but that 1500 calorie means 1500 kilocalorie diet. Okay, so do not get confused between these term calorie and kilocalorie. In actual, your one one 1 kilocal is equal to 1,000 calories, but in terms of nutrition, one food calorie is equal to 1 kilocalorie. Okay. Now, why is it important for us to start reading these nutrition label? Because if you will see this nutrition label, there are a lot of things mentioned, a lot of details mentioned about different macronutrients. So you will see, you are getting the total amount of fat that is there in a serving. So this serving is of 240 ml. This is nutrition label of milk container, and one serving of this milk, that is 240 ml of this milk, is giving you 160 calories. It is giving you the amount of calories, out of which fat is 9 gram. So almost the calories which are coming from fat are around 80, out of which saturated fat is 6 gram. It is also giving you that it has zero trans fat. It has this much amount of cholesterol, like 35 mg cholesterol. It has this much sodium. These are still okay to avoid, but majorly to just to know how many calories are coming from a label, we need to see fat, carbohydrates, and protein. These are just the subtopics of these major macronutrients. Total carbohydrates are 12, in which fiber is 0 and sugars are 12. So all the carbs which are that are coming, they are coming from sugar. So the kind of sugar that's there in milk is lactose. So if you will see the nutrition label again, it's giving you the serving size, it's giving you the amount of calories, it's giving you the macronutrients, fat, carbs, and protein. So if you want to know how many calories you are consuming in a day, it is very important to know how many calories are coming from each and every food which you are consuming. For that, we can use various methods, like a small food weighing scale. It is a small kitchen scale in which you can weigh your food, cooked or raw, depending upon your preference, but just choose one method. You whatever you are eating, just weigh it, and or you can just measure the food which you are eating using measuring cups. Standard measuring cups are safer option as compared to a food, as compared to any um, um, generic bowl. So use standard measuring jars if you are using cup method. Otherwise, a food weighing scale is a safer option in most of the cases. So you can get this small food weighing scale, and you can just weigh what you are eating, raw or cooked, then search for the in that particular quantity using apps such as Fitter or MyFitnessPal. So you can log your food, log whatever you are eating, the quantity which you are eating, and by the end of the day, you will be having the amount of calories which you are consuming in a day. I'm sorry. Okay, so you will be knowing how many calories you are eating, and if they are going hand in hand with your goal. If your goal is lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit state. Ideally, if you are a newbie, you do not know how to plan your calories, so you should be keeping your calories between BMR and TDEE to lose weight, and above TDEE to gain weight. Okay, so out of by if like supposedly your TDE is 2000 calories and you are planning your diet somewhere around 1500-1600 calories. So out of those 1500-1600 calories, make sure that you are at least consuming 1 to 1.2 gram of protein uh, per kg of body weight. Okay, so if you weigh 50 kg, you need to have at least 50-60 gram of protein just for general wellness. If you are into any sport or weight training, your protein intake can be somewhere between 1.5 to 2 gram per kg of body weight. A maximum limit can go up till 2.2 or 2.25 gram of protein per kg of body weight. Also, for someone who is into resistance training, doing 4-5 days resistance training or more, they can consume around 1.8 to 2.2 gram per kg of body weight protein. So for a 50 kg individual, it would be somewhere around 90 to 100 gram, somewhere between 90 to 110 gram. Okay, so that's how you determine your protein intake. Next you set is your fat intake, that comprises of at least 20 to 30% of your total calories. After setting the protein and fats, you calculate your carbohydrates. You set the remaining calories through carbohydrates. If you are a newbie, again, if you have this Fitter app, you're logging in Fitter app, you can select the macro ratio based which are given. There are various kind of diets given, diet suggestions which are given: low carb, moderate carb, high carb, keto. So once you select your diet of your choice, you will get the macro distribution. You just need to enter the total amount of calories that I need to consume. Okay, so you will be getting your macro distribution. Otherwise, you can follow the process which I have given. Set your protein as per your goal and preference, like your eating habits. Other next thing is set your carbohydrates, set your fats between 20 to 30% of your total calories, and rest of the calories can come from carbs, if you are fine with that. And yeah, this is very important for many of you. This slide is very important for, I would say, most of you, because when you are working in shifts, you are working straight for 48 hours or 72 hours. So you might need to eat, you might not be able to get your food from home, so you might be eating in your hospital canteen or cafeteria, or ordering from outside. If you are eating from a cafeteria, or even if you are ordering from outside, you if just take care of these few pointers, and you would be able to at least maintain your weight, and you will not gain weight. Or if you log what you are eating, if you roughly keep logging what you are eating, so you might just stay inclined with your goal as well. So you have to be, first pointer says that you have to be very mindful of your food choices when you are eating outside food. So supposedly your hospital cafeteria is providing rice, okay, a vegetable, and a source of protein through foods like eggs, soya chunks, dal, curd. So what you need to do, you need to take your plate and make it a balanced meal. So if you see this picture, I have purposely placed this picture to show you how a balanced meal can look like. It is having a serving of protein. So you'll take a small serving of protein source. whatever protein source that you are getting. If you do not have any other choice, take some dal or take some soya chunks or egg. Okay. Your plate is usually divided into few compartments, so fill one compartment or two compartments with your protein source. Fill the third compartment with a vegetable source or a carb source. Okay, you can fill a small compartment with a carb source, just to restrict your, if you are in a calorie restriction, so just to restrict your calories, you can reduce the serving of carbohydrates you're having, so you can fill the third small portion of your plate with rice which you are getting, and in between you can take vegetable. Okay, if you are getting salad, take some salad. If you're getting curd, take a small bowl of curd. And this is a healthy and at the same time not a calorie dense meal. Okay, so that's how you do your meal selection. Whatever you are eating, if you are getting oats or poha or upma in breakfast, take a small serving of that, and along with it you can have a few boiled eggs or you can have a glass of milk, whatever you are getting. And just keep on logging all these things into apps which I have discussed, like Fitter, My Fitness Pal. You can easily log what you are eating in these apps, and you'll get to know, you'll be conscious, you'll become conscious of your portion selection, because we usually underestimate our portion and we end up eating more. So especially people who have tendency to gain weight, we underestimate our portion sizes. We think we are eating less as per our body, but in actual we are eating more, and those small increment in the end take us into a calorie surplus and we gain weight. And similarly, people who are aiming to gain weight underestimate their portion control. So logging would give you an actual idea of how many calories you are eating and how away you are from your targeted calorie intake. Okay. So be mindful and log. Drink enough water and keep yourself hydrated. So I would in general I would suggest to maintain your water intake somewhere at least between 3 to 4 liters for general wellness, because many times we ignore our thirst and then we get confused between our thirst and hunger, and when we are not hungry we feel, and when we are thirsty and not hungry we feel that we are hungry, and we end up eating food in even when our body requires hydration. Okay, so make this a habit that you are drinking enough water. It will also prevent unnecessary cravings and hunger pangs which you usually get in between. And besides your regular meals like breakfast, lunch and dinner, in between just try to reduce, cut down on calorie dense food like biscuits, chocolates, namkeen. Just remove all these foods because they give you a lot of calories even in a small serving. You can replace these calorie dense snacks with a low calorie snacking options like salads, like simple plain salads. I'm talking about cucumber, lettuce, some carrots probably, which don't give you a lot of calories, but they give you a lot of food volume. You eat a lot, at the same time you do not exceed your calorie intake. So you can add some salads, fruits, or if you're opting for nuts, then keep a very small portion, because a handful of nuts can easily give you 400-500 calories. So if you are taking nuts, probably you can take 4-5 almonds, 1 or 2 walnuts, a few raisins, and that's how our portion sizes should be. Okay, if we are aiming to maintain or lose weight. Besides the diet part, if you want to maintain your weight, it is equally important to exercise. um and that exercise part, how you can include exercise in your hectic schedule and how you can stay active with your busy lifestyle, will be covered just after this by our faculty, our NFS faculty and fitter coach Praveen Budhrani. Thank you so much. This was it from my side. And Praveen, you can take over from here.
Thank you, Akshita. Thank you, Dr. Gaurav, for inviting us, and thank you so much to your community of doctors that are helping us with. Akshita, can you share me that PPT? I guess I haven't received that, so I will just share it from my screen.
Which PPT?
Just the one that you reflected now.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll keep on changing the slides for you.
Yeah, if you can share your screen then. I think it went off from share screen.
Yeah, I'll do that for
Or
you.
you can share the PPT with me on WhatsApp. I'll just keep tagging it. Either way,
Okay.
it's fine.
It's there.
I'm sharing with him as well if he wants to
Yeah.
from there. Just give me a second. I think it's taking some time. Shall I
No.
start from Praveen?
Yeah, yeah. You can start that. I will take. I mean, I'll do that. Yeah. Okay, guys. Sorry for the trouble and inconvenience. Yeah. So as Akshita talked, very rightly about the diet, that diet is very important when it comes to achieving our fitness goal. And today's day and age, when we have a utmost sedentary lifestyle, and with COVID times and everything, wherein becoming healthy and fit has become all the more important for us. That being said, diet just solves one part of the puzzle. Exercise is equally necessary, if not more. So basically, apart from achieving our fitness goal, we want to exercise for the following reasons that I have mentioned. So one is to lose fat is one part of exercise. So generally people ask me that they want to lose weight, but and can they do that by just following the diet? Yes, it is true, you can lose weight by following the diet, as she Akshita just mentioned, that you just need to be on a deficit. But in reality, nobody should be targeting to lose weight. They should always target to get a positive body composition, and not just see the number drop on the weighing scale. So losing fat should be our utmost goal, which could be achieved with, which cannot be achieved without following a proper exercise regime. Then the next point is gaining muscles. Yes, as she Akshita also highlighted that with the age we tend to you get impacted by a muscle loss. While protein is important for gaining muscle, but when we say what is that precursor of building muscle, that is something exercise. Protein only helps you recover from that damage you have in exercise. Even if you keep on eating protein without any activity or exercise, you will tend to burn this up as an energy, or utilize that in other functions. So yeah, exercise will always be precursor. Then there are some things for flexibility, for general strength, in day to day activities that we do, functional activities. Flexibility and being strong in general also helps us, and makes us stay away, uh, makes us away from injuries. So that is something for which exercise is also necessary. Then the exercise has also been correlated to with feeling better mentally, peacefully. Any form of exercise that you do makes you makes you feel good about yourself, and makes doing it early in the morning makes you energized throughout the day, while doing it late at night gives you a good sleep. So whenever you find time, it is a good idea to exercise to perform better. Then there is one thing, while we are performing day to day course, like climbing four stairs, or four floor stairs or something, holding your children, playing with them. These are all normal activities that we go through. If we are not active in terms of working out or an etc., these might become difficult. Of course, weight is a factor to it as well, but if you are used to doing some kind of physical activity in a structured way, that will help aid you in your normal functional activities as well. Okay, so this was it in this slide. Just I'll highlight on the functions that we have uh, for exercising. One is our cardiovascular fitness that we need to that we can focus on. Another is our endurance, like how much amount of time that we can exercise. Maybe a marathon runner is a good example of endurance. Then there is muscular strength, which is the amount of lift or the amount of load that we can handle. Flexibility, as the flexibility is like how how much range of motion we can cover with from each joint. So that is something flexibility. And body composition, of course, this is all this session is specifically focused on body composition. So this is something which is very, very important when it comes to living a healthy and happy life. Yes. Now, many of the people get confused that, what form of exercise is that we should be following. There are variety of things outside. Some people try to sell you Zumba, some people sell you CrossFit, some people tell you do weight training, some people tell you run. So there are few factors wherein you yourself can decide, what kind of exercise you want to do. First of all, the most and the centerpiece of puzzle to decide which exercise that need to do is safety. Say for example, if you are a person who is a 60-year-old person or a 55-year-old person and who is plus 100 kg, so something like CrossFit or Zumba might not go well with you. You need to start off slow. You need to start with doing some kind of machine based resistance training, or just taking a walk in general. So that is something you need to focus on. So safety is a centerpiece of the puzzle. And then you need to try out some things that that are enjoyable for you as well. So irrespective of whether it's diet or training, as Akshita also focused that sustainability is the key. So when you will enjoy, you will always sustain. So if you don't enjoy something like any routine, then you should not focus too much of it. Enjoyment should also be part of an exercise, and it should not be an additional burden on you apart from day to day life. Then is the lastly is the specificity. So basically, specificity means you need to understand what you want to get better at. So if you want to get better at running a marathon, you can't be doing a weight training. I mean, the majority of the portion should not be coming from a weight training. Or if you want to get bigger, I mean muscular, more muscular, then you can't be doing HIIT or cardiovascular based exercises, or even Zumba for that matter. So you need to drill down on what are you trying to achieve and what form of exercise you want to take. In the next slide, I'll show you what offering each exercise routine gives us. Okay, so these are the few of the popular exercises forms that are available with us that we see in today's day and age. One is a traditional strength training. So if you see the red part of the graph that I have mentioned is the best, and the green is the low, and yellow is kind of a neutral. So yes. So basically, when it comes to building strength and muscle, strength training is best, but building endurance, it may not be an ideal. So it is a very low contributor to it. Flexibility, of course, it is a very low contributor to the flexibility part as well, unless I mean, it can only get you to being flexible as much as the range of motion demands in the demand is there in the exercise. And risk of injury, I'll rate it as a moderate, because there are many newbies out there who need to take focus on their technique, form and technique. And even for advanced strength trainers, for form and technique continues to remain of an utmost important. But it may so happen that you might get carried away with lifting heavy and you forget about doing right. So there is a reasonable amount of risk that we carry in terms of getting injured. Then there is a modality of CrossFit. CrossFit is again a marriage of our endurance activity and strength training. So it is something which will work on both strength training and endurance. But the thing about is it is that it dilutes the specificity part. So you may end up being moderate in terms of strength and muscle gain and endurance as well, as much as you would have otherwise achieved by following a specific activity. Then coming to flexibility, flexibility is also very reasonable in terms of CrossFit. And then risk of injury is very high because it's more aggressive, requires lesser rest time. Plus, you are, training lot of things at a time in a single session. So if a person is not really an very newbie, so he might end up get the chances of he or she getting injured might be higher than the normal weight training session. Then calisthenics is also a good form of building muscle and doing a building strength, especially when we were going through this lockdown and when gyms were closed. This has been a very useful tool for many intermediate and advanced people, who have a moderate and low weight, but it is not something that should be recommended to the person who is on the heavier side of it. And in fact, in endurance, it can be it is more focused on strength and less on endurance, although there are some kind of activity which focus on endurance as well. Flexibility also, it has a very less contribution, and injury can be higher in calisthenics vis-a-vis the actual strength training, because of the limitation in terms of variety of weights or equipments that you involve. Calisthenics, there are hardly any equipment. You might have a pull-up bar or rings, etc., to use that, which might not give you a flexibility of ease, keeping you away from injury. Pilates again is a form of resistance training. It is kind of a safer version for of a strength training. So I won't go into detail of it. It's just that it as we lift free weights and machines both. Pilates is more focused towards doing a machine-based resistance exercise. Of course, it is not very effective as the our traditional strength training, but yeah, it is something which is there and has a lower risk of injury. And Zumba again is a one factor that people enjoy, especially when they are in group. It is good, but when it comes to it should be specific for the person who is looking to get better at endurance or at dancing, or and has a huge enjoyment coming from that. Then only a person should focus on Zumba. Otherwise, it taking it as a side activity is something which is better for Zumba. And another point, another than yoga, is something which is also one form of modality. Of course, it has a many benefits in terms of flexibility and keeping us mentally good and focused, and spiritually as well. But when it comes to losing weight, we might have to do something more than yoga. Injury is not the very big concern in yoga. Of course, it won't build our endurance and strength as well. So this was it from my side in this slide. So yeah, so this is a template strength training plan. As the focus, I understand the majority of people, the focus that is there is to lose weight and live a healthy lifestyle. So this is a template from our Fitter app only, which you will get it free of cost if you download the Fitter app. If you can see in the template that there are hardly 5 exercises, 5 to maximum 6 exercises involving 3 or 4 sets maximum. It believe me, it won't take more than 45 minutes to get done with your whole routine. So it's all about starting, taking baby steps. So once you keep starting, you get your intensity keeps improving. And unfortunately, we don't have that much of time. Otherwise, these training things would have been explained in much detail. But then yeah, so the idea here to send out the message that strength training is something which is very important for retaining muscle mass, along with other factors that are important for achieving positive body composition. And it doesn't take much of a time, so you can very well find the time to do strength training, and then then focus on other forms of exercises as well, which will help you make it more fun. So this was it from this slide. And then these are some of the ways, now no matter what form of exercises you do, it is very important to progress. So any form of stress, be it dieting or training, we provide to our body, it gets adapted to it. So to see a further improvement, we need to force them with a further stress. So that is something called as a progression. So progression in terms of strength training can be done by lifting heavier loads, doing more reps and doing more sets. So for now, sets is something that we should not be focusing on, as our time is something that will go away with if we keep on adding more and more sets. But repetition and load, increasing heavier, lifting heavier weights or training at higher intensities, is something that can be very well achieved by achieved as a parameter of progression. So progressing is very important no matter what form of exercises you do. That's it, actually. Okay, now the most important part. So there is a myth that people say that today we have eaten so and so thing, and then we'll burn it out in our exercise. Okay, so we need to understand that what 1 hour can do, what 14 hours of our day can do, 1 hour cannot offset. When you go for a workout, your objective should be to get stronger, get better, and do as harder as you can. In terms of talking, in terms of strength training and other forms of exercises, you cannot burn what you have eaten so much from the exercise. So for a 1 hour 2 hour activity, you hardly burn 200 to 250 calories, which you can easily take it away by having 3 or 4 biscuits, even unknowingly, or a handful of peanuts. So this should not be the focus. The diet should be treated as an individual component towards a fitness, and exercise should be another component towards a fitness. Generally, people also say that 70% diet and 30% exercise, but that is not the case. It's 100% diet and 100% exercise. So this is something which should not be done. And also, one must also focus on being active throughout the day. Just because you have done an exercise doesn't mean that you need to live otherwise sedentary lifestyle. So building in habits to remain active, like taking a walk after every meal, 5 to 10 minutes walk, taking talking on a phone while walking while you are on a phone, or playing with your kids, etc., is something you can slowly and gradually put a conscious effort. Then after 20-25 days, it tends to become an habit. And you can also participate in the challenges that we see online, 10,000 steps challenges, etc., for a temporary basis till the time they become sustainable. But that being said, don't be overly obsessed with those challenges, because something that you cannot sustain, you should not push towards it. That's it. So here are some of the myths and facts that I want to highlight, which I have commonly here. Probably you might would have also asked after this session has been completed. So somebody said that someone believe that cardio is necessary for fat loss. We see that the first thing that gym trainers tell to people coming into their gyms to lose weight is to run on a treadmill, but that is not necessary. If you take care of your diet on being on a deficit and do a significant reasonable structured resistance training routine, you can very well achieve your fat loss. So cardio could be a good value addition when you are not able to reduce further calories, but it's not compulsory to do. Empty stomach cardio will lead to fat loss. This is again a one anecdotal thing that floats around, that if you are empty stomach, you will tend to burn more fat as fat gets utilized more. But then at the end of the day, it boils down to how much deficit you are. At the later part of the day, you will start reducing your fat burning impact if you eat more. So that's also not true. You need to confuse your muscles to grow. That's also not true. Being a being better at training is not about shifting your routines here and there. Imagine the fact that if we ask Virat Kohli to bat one day, to keep next day, to ball another next day, so he won't get better at each of the activities. So we need to focus on specific set of exercises and get better at it. Next is, you can't get physique with home workout. This is also not true. It's just about understanding what kind I mean, giving body sufficient resistance. It doesn't matter, body doesn't understand that that is coming from a free weight or a machine or your body weight. If you are creative enough, if you have a few basic equipments like a pair of an adjustable dumbbell or a resistance band, you can very well achieve the uh, good physique or fat loss with the home workout. Weight training stunts your height goal. That is also not true. So if you are stopping your children to go to the gym because of the way that they will impact your height, their height, so that is also not correct. It's based on an old Japanese study which is nowhere to be seen now. Stretching and cool down is again not a necessary. And yeah, then a more important thing is the more crunches you do or ab exercises you do, the more I mean, your stomach will go away. The reason for this is because again, our Indian diets, as Akshita Ali mentioned, that they are full of carbohydrates and have a very less protein, and we end up eating in surplus more often than not. Although the volume of food may look like less, but the calories per se are more. So most of our Indian population falls into the category of skinny fat, wherein our waist is broader, but our arms and everything are skin, especially among men. So they end up doing a lot of crunches just to reduce the spot from their uh, stomach, fat from their stomach. But that doesn't work that way. We need to lose the overall body fat to actually lose fat from stomach as well. Then there is a case for you need to do higher repetition for when in fat loss, and lower repetition, lift heavier when you want to gain muscle. Irrespective of your fat loss and gaining muscle, your workout will remain same. As Akshita highlighted, that fat loss is all about being on a calorie deficit, and muscle gaining or weight gaining is all about being on a caloric surplus. So this was a short summary with regards to training that I wanted to highlight, and thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to share our thought. And we'll be open for questions, Akshita. Now,
Sure.
yes.
Okay, thank you for a wonderful session. Let us take few questions which has come from the comments. Uh, the first question is, do you recommend protein supplement, as in whey supplement? The question from Dr. Hetal.
So,
Akshita?
Dr. Hitul, if your diet is having sufficient protein as per your goal, as I told you, if your goal is to maintain to just maintain your general wellness, and you are consuming around 1.2 gram per kg of body weight protein, you're not working out, you're not doing resistance training, then it is fine to just complete your protein with whatever food sources which you are having. And if you are doing weight training, then you can probably keep your protein intake somewhere between 1.6 to 1.8 gram per kg of body weight. If you are maintaining, if you are getting this much protein from your foods, then you do not need a whey protein supplement. But if your eating preferences are not allowing you to complete your protein intake, which is required for your goal, then you might need to add whey protein as a supplement. But just remember that it is just like any other dairy product, as natural as any other dairy product or food source. But sometimes we are short on protein, so a scoop of protein is easier to get around 23-25 grams of protein with while not adding significant calories. That's the only benefit of whey.
Yeah, so I just want to add one more thing, that we recommend whey protein when you are on a lower calories, right? If I'm not wrong. So when you are on a lower calories, whey protein is added to the diet just to allow you more carbs in your calorie intake. Is that right, Akshita?
The thing is, that's what I was saying, Gaurav, that when we are on lower calories and it gets difficult to complete protein through food, then we can add whey. It's not mandatory to add, but we can add if it is required.
Yeah. So the next question is, what is your opinion about carb-free diet and intermittent fasting?
So carb-free diet or no carb diet, which is ketogenic diet, it is okay. It is just like any other diet. The only issue with ketogenic diet is that it does not go well with many people. As we discussed, that most of the people have a lifestyle that involves eating carbohydrate. So go ahead with keto only if it goes with your lifestyle. And being doctors, everyone here knows that the primary objective behind inventing keto was to treat certain neurological conditions that were seen to be improved with ketogenic diet. Otherwise, you can follow it. It is not harmful, but at the same time, it is not sustainable for many people. So ultimately, go ahead with diet that is sustainable. And same goes for intermittent fasting as well. Intermittent fasting is uh, I shall say restricted, or I shall say time restricted eating pattern. Okay, it is a time restricted eating pattern in which we eat in a specific time window, and for the rest of the day we fast. The most common IF strategy that we follow is 6 to 8, in which we fast for 16 hours and eat all our food in 8 hours. So it is a good strategy for calorie restriction, because when your eating window is shortened, so psychologically we feel that we are eating more food. Okay, so it can help us in reducing our calorie intake that can lead to fat loss. So only go ahead with IF if it goes with your lifestyle. Like if you are someone who skips one of the meals, if you are someone who does not like eating your breakfast, so don't force yourself to eat breakfast. You can follow IF and still achieve your goal. But if you are someone who face cognition issues on restricting your food for a long time period, you cannot function well, you cannot, if you're going to gym, you see your performance is getting affected, then don't go for IF. So these are just some strategies to improve your adherence, and that can lead to your weight loss. Otherwise, it does not have any other health benefits, like significant health benefits.
Yeah. So coming to the next question, Dr. Vineet says, I can't understand why my weight gets increased by 1 kg with a 50 gram of sweet. So is it water retention, or it
Sudden
is
weight
a
loss and weight gain, like both the side, either if there is a sudden change in weight, be it weight gain or weight loss, it is always the water weight that you lose. Okay, so weight gain or fat loss always happen gradually over a period of time, because you need a certain amount of deficit to lose weight. Okay, so eating a sweet would add probably 200-300 calories to what you are eating currently. That will not lead to weight gain. But the thing is, when we suddenly increase our carbohydrate intake, or we suddenly increase our sodium intake, so our weight suddenly shoots up, because both glycogen, that is the stored form of carbohydrate, and sodium, they hold water inside the body, and we instantaneously gain water. So this sudden change is always the water weight, and weight fluctuates every day, almost every day. So we should not be focused on these daily weight changes, but we should be seeing how your weight is changing over the period of time, if it's on a if it's on a inclining side or declining side. So if you are aiming for weight loss, so the overall graph should be on a declining side, even if your weight is increasing or decreasing on daily basis.
Yeah. So, do you suggest wheat flour to be replaced with gram flour to reduce carb intake in a strictly vegetarian diet?
So, wheat flour and gram flour have almost same calories. It's just that gram flour, that is besan, it will be having slightly more protein, almost equivalent to dal. That is the only difference. So, if you want, you can replace it, but the total calories are coming from both the foods are same, provided you are consuming in same amount. So that will not impact your weight loss. So just
Great.
choose food which go with your lifestyle. Do not do anything just for the sake of weight loss or fat loss. You just need to select the foods that you are familiar with, that you want to have even after you are off your diet which you are doing for a particular goal. For maintenance also, you just need to eat similar foods in slightly more amount, and you are good to go with maintaining your weight.
So, consistency and sustainability is more important.
More important, most important is consistency and adherence, I would say, and yes, sustainability, so that you can adhere to it.
Yeah. So,
Regarding consistency, I wanted Gaurav. Yeah,
yeah,
Gaurav. Regarding consistency, I wanted to ask both the speakers how to remain consistent. Like I, after watching such program, I will start diet, I will start exercise, and after 15 days, I will get demotivated, or I will stop doing exercise, or I will stop diet. So, how to remain motivated for diet and exercise to both speakers?
yeah. Before you answer, I want to add that we all work odd hours. So, हमारे working schedules बहुत haphazard रहते हैं. So, how to get ourselves into the grid? To the
Praveen, do you
adding to
want to take this?
Yeah, so I'll add. So basically, first of all, first things first, detach yourself from the goal. Don't think. Say, for example, don't say X amount of weight I need to do in X amount, lose in X amount of time. Say X amount of time I don't want to cheat. I want to follow diet. I want to do exercise for X number of days. 90 days के लिए I will want to do without exercising except one day a week जो मैं off लूंगा, and I want to follow diet for 90 days. So these are kind of mindsets that you can do. And second thing is that don't set a realistic expectation. When we drive a car, we don't directly go to from 0 to 100 unless the car is such. So if we are broken in a different way, we need to ensure that our speed is also uh, you know moderate. So set a smaller goal. Take one day at a time is something which will keep yourself keep you motivated and updated. And as both of us have emphasized on the fact that we need to, the grassroots of dieting and training should be based on a sustainability. If you do anything for short term, that like a following any aggressive diet or smashing everything in the gym, so that you will feel demotivated, if not 10 days, after 20 days, if not 20 days, after uh, 50 days. One must understand that this is something which we need to follow for lifetime. Achieving transformation is one project, maintaining transformation is another project altogether. So we can't escape that in that sense. Yeah, so
so true. Even exercise, any kind of exercise. Like I have two questions on the same. What kind of exercise do you suggest for someone approaching 50 years? And is walking good enough? If I walk 25 days a month, distance varies. At the age of 50, is it good enough?
see, till the time you have been doing nothing, walking is good. But once you have got all the benefit of walking and you want to level up and you are not satisfied with your progress, then you need to find what is the next level. Maybe lifting weights might be another protocol of achieving your goal, to get a better physique or to be more fit. And it doesn't matter, we have people in the group, we have a coach who is 54 years old and he has a better physique than me and many of us. So that the age is not a limit. There are many such examples who have achieved that, and it's not that they have been doing since they were 18 or 19. They also had that midlife crisis and they came back stronger. So it's not, don't undermine yourself that because you have passed certain age, when it comes to dieting and exercises, it is never too late. It is never ever too late.
So do you suggest muscle strengthening for the aged also? So while you
Yes.
age,
Yes, 100%. Although the intensity will vary, the focus should be more towards, basic functional movement. Of course, that will be a function of how we see a specific individual's any injury or any limitations that we see from the individual. But on a macro level, resistance training is okay for even aged people as well. I'm sure Akshita will also, second to that.
I agree to what Praveen is saying. So basically, as we were talking about age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia, so we have to prevent it. Okay, to prevent that, we have to strengthen our muscle. We have to, if not build, we have to preserve muscle. If we are building, that's good. So along with eating right protein, it's equally important for each and every one of us to do strength training or to do resistance training, because most of the exercise that we that are there in our plan, if you saw Praveen's plan, so there were squats, which is a very natural movement, like sitting and standing. So the type of movement, that the movement will be same, but the variation can be different. For someone who is not very good at this particular movement, who is having knee pain at the age of 50 or 60, we start with an easier substitute like box squats, in which you just have to sit and stand. Okay, so we modify the movement, but the root जो movement है वो same रहता है, like squat. Or if you, like, usually in our day to day life, we lift heavy objects from the ground, that is deadlift. And if we do deadlift in gym over the period of time, we'll improve. We'll improve at deadlift, we'll improve at lifting weights from the ground, and we'll avoid the risk of injuries which are associated with lifting heavy weights or placing heavy weights over the shelf. Sometimes people dislocate their shoulders while placing like heavy objects over the shelves. So these kind of incidents happen. So reduce strength training is crucial to preserve your muscles, to strengthen your muscles and reduce the risk of injuries, which is usually there when we age.
so I think even my colleagues will agree that exercise reduces your aging. So the age-related illnesses are also delayed once you start exercising. Okay. So the next question will go is, if I want to add protein in every meal, what are the options for vegetarians, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
So options for vegetarian are soya chunks. Like all the dairy products and soy products are primary protein sources. Paneer, milk, curd, and whey protein if you're adding it. If you're not adding it, it's okay. We have soy protein substitutes like soya chunks, tofu, soy flour, soya bean ka dal, and then we have all the lentils and legumes as well. So there are sufficient protein sources which one can add in every meal.
So there was one question regarding nutritional value of curd also. So I'll club it with this, whether how to guide people to calculate or know about the nutritional value.
You have to search search for the calories. I would a general rule of thumb is search for calories in 100 gram of any particular food. 100 gram of curd is having around 50-60 calories, and then you have to log how much curd you are having and how many calories are coming from that amount of curd.
Anything, Hetal bhai?
Hello, I think we are done with it. All questions are included in the talk.
All the
Thank
questions that had
you,
come.
Akshita, and thank you, Praveen, for motivating us and guiding
Thank
us.
you for
Gaurav, your
yeah,
concluding remarks.
Yeah, I would like to thank Akshita, Praveen, Akash, Jyoti, and JC and Fitter and INFS group, everyone, and Hetal bhai for allowing us to do this webinar for doctors. And I am open to answering any questions or getting the questions answered from our faculty from the other group. if anyone has any questions, we can take it offline, and we can share the answers from the faculty also. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much
Thank
for
you.
having us here. It was a great time. And if you need any help, any assistance in future, we are there.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank
See
Okay.
you
you
guys.
soon.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.